Another storm hit the Mid-Ohio Valley, knocking out power for thousands of people. We'll show you some of the damage. Williamstown city officials are making progress on the old elementary school project. This is for the demolition of the school. Meteorologist Kurt Greenfield has your forecast, and Ryan Wilson joins us in sports. WTAP News at 11 starts now.
Live from our studios at One Television Plaza, this is WTAP News at 11.
A thunderstorm late this afternoon caused power outages around the Mid-Ohio Valley. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. Another storm hit the Mid-Ohio Valley, knocking out power for thousands. Laura Bowen takes a look at storm damage and gets some power line safety tips.
I was at work. I looked outside, it was light outside, and then all of a sudden it went dark.
Branches are scattered across the Mid-Ohio Valley, remnants of a storm that knocked down multiple trees and power lines. Some traffic lights went out as well.
And then it was like a leaf blizzard outside. There were leaves flying everywhere, every direction, up, down.
The situation has improved since. As of 10 p.m. Friday, there were around 1,200 outages in Wood County, according to First Energy. There were around 100 in Washington County, according to AEP. If you see any downed lines, MonPower spokesperson Hannah Catlett says you should call 911.
These lines are really dangerous because they're carrying electricity, and touching one of those power lines can cause really serious injury or even death.
So keep your distance.
You can't tell by looking at a power line whether it's live or hot, so you want to make sure that you're staying at least 30 feet away.
Catlett suggests staying as far away as possible. Plus, make sure you don't touch anything that's touching the line either. And don't forget about your pets.
Keep your pets away from those lines too. So take a look before you let your dog out after a storm, just to make sure that there's no lines, in your backyard.
Laura Bowen, WTAP News.
Turning to the weather, still warm and humid out there. Meteorologist Kirk Greenfield joins us now with the first look at your forecast. Kirk?
Very humid conditions. In fact, watch this. The Jan Dills Marietta Skycam atop the Lafayette Hotel says we're at 70 degrees. That is the dew point. We have 100% relative humidity. You don't see that very often. What that means is dew is occurring. We're looking at fog developing, and in theory, it could also be raining, except we don't have a trigger right now. Winds out of the south at about 3 miles per hour, and the barometer 30.03 inches and steady. Well, we did have some photos of some of the storm damage that were shared by one of our good friends. As you can see, some of these are power poles that were dropped on Spruce Street, blocking some of the roadway, brought down by a large branch that has fallen across some parked cars, what have you. And again, this is from our good friend Jim Wharton, so we wanted to share them with you. Thank you, Jim, for your contributions. Well, let's take a look at our forecast for the overnight. We're expecting to be a little warmer than we actually are, so there'll be some fluctuation tonight, but potentially there may be a storm rolling through about 4 a.m. once more. So we need to be prepared for another very humid, very warm day. It's the 4th in our final day of this 4-day heat wave. I'll be back in a few minutes to talk about the rest of the forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Kirk. New tonight, Williamstown city officials are making progress on the old elementary school project. They will be approving or voting down the bid parameters they will be putting out for companies to bid on the next meeting. This is for the demolition of the school. That's according to Mayor Paul Jordan, who says they'll be tearing down the old section but keeping the gym and newer portion of the old library area.
There's all kinds of possibilities for this property. I mean, this property is beautiful. It's a wonderful acquisition for us.
While plans on what officials will do with the property are not yet solidified, some ideas being discussed are relocating the Williamstown Library here for more space, creating walking paths, relocating tennis courts here, and more. One person has died following a crash in Athens County this morning. According to the Athens Ohio State Highway Patrol Post, the single vehicle crash happened at 7:35 a.m. today on New England Road south of Sand Rock Road in Byrne Township. Aaron Michael Hill was driving northeast in a 2007 Toyota Corolla when he failed to negotiate a curve. He slid off the right side of the road and hit an embankment. The vehicle was overturned and came to rest on its top. According to a statement from Ohio State Highway Patrol, he was not not wearing a seatbelt. Hill was pronounced dead at the scene by the Athens County Coroner's Office. Troopers want to remind you to always wear a seatbelt. The Washington County Sheriff's Office arrested one person for trafficking meth and heroin. According to Washington County Sheriff's Office, Thursday evening, a deputy was patrolling Interstate 77 near mile marker 1 when he noticed a black sedan with a rear wheel issue. The deputy also noticed the sedan driving erratically. The deputy conducted a traffic stop and identified the driver, Javion Penson Willis from Akron, was driving without a license. The deputy then saw evidence that gave him probable cause to search the vehicle. Deputies say they found 1.5 pounds of meth, heroin, and suspected marijuana in a hidden compartment. Staff Lieutenant Eric Hunter said this bust will have a positive impact on the community.
It makes Washington County a safer place to live when you get a large seizure of drugs like this off of the streets. Unfortunately, it's not going to stop the problem altogether. However, it is going to curb the issue for a little while.
Penson Willis was charged with 1 count of trafficking meth and heroin. 2 people are in jail following a joint investigation by the Meigs County Sheriff's Office and agents with the Southeast Major Crimes Task Force. A search warrant was executed at a Lovett Road residence in Portland, according to the Meigs County Sheriff's Office. Agents and deputies searched the property and say they found suspected bags of heroin, meth, marijuana, money, and more. Property that was previously reported stolen from a nearby home earlier in the day was also recovered. Kayla Pullins and Ryan Nelson were arrested. Pullins is charged with possession of meth and possession of heroin and trafficking drugs. Nelson is facing the same charges as Pullins and theft. A state delegate in West Virginia helped local volunteer fire departments get funding. Blennerhassett volunteer firefighter Joe Ferguson saw a need in his department and reached out to his local delegate. According to Ferguson, he reached out to District 13 delegate Scott Heckert to see if he would be able to help. Delegate Heckert helped the department get the funding they needed through grants from the state.
Got the ball rolling, got all the information, paperwork, what we needed, and he jumped right on it. And that, like I think Gary said, is a breath of fresh air that we have somebody in our area that really cares.
Heckert checks in with them regularly, according to Ferguson and Washington Bottom's Chief Gary Freed. Our Sarah Coleman will have more on Delegate Heckert helping volunteer fire departments this weekend. The Jackson County Fair is wrapping up this weekend. The fair brought many things to Jackson County this year, including fair foods, carnival rides, petting zoos, and more. One of the main attractions is the livestock sale that was this afternoon. Secretary Tammy Harpole says the fair board prides itself on bringing different sources of entertainment to the area for all ages.
We have entertainment on both ends. The older people bring such wisdom to the table that a lot of the older people have raised their own livestock and their own animals, so they bring so much wisdom with them when they come. And the younger folks, they seem to like the carnival and the pull track side, but we try to keep a balance on both sides.
The fair's last day is tomorrow. It opens at 7:30 a.m. and wraps up with fireworks around 10 to 11 p.m. One of the family-friendly events that the crowd enjoys is the fair's livestock sale. Pigs, cows, and goats were all a part of the sales today, ranging from $2 a pound to over $15. Take a listen.
16,
Grand champions were sold in all 3 categories today. The 30th annual Harmer Days Festival is underway. The fun started today and will run through Sunday. There will be something for everyone, from live music and arts and crafts to local food vendors and a kids zone. Harmer Days chairperson Allie Schulteis sees the festival as a part of a tradition in the village.
Harmer Days is a long-standing tradition here in the heart of Harmer Village. It originally started as a way to kind of keep the lights on for the bridge, and now it's transformed into this beautiful 3-day event.
The events were tonight from 6 to 11, and it runs tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. and Sunday from noon until 5:30. The events will happen rain or shine. A free family event is coming to Middleport, Ohio. Family Fun Day will be in General Hartinger Park tomorrow, July 29th. The event will go from noon to 4 p.m. Family Fun Day is sponsored by Upper Room Ministries. Organizers say there will be free food, drinks, prizes, inflatables, activities, and back-to-school supplies. More information is on the Upper Room Ministries Facebook page. Still ahead, the Senate passed a massive national defense package. How the bill's passage sets up a fight after they take a month-long recess. That story is next at 11.